Hello and welcome to the fifth week of the fall 2020 semester. Today we'll be discussing Chapter 5, the Psychosocial Person, Relationships, Stress, and Coping. So let's get started. Relational theory, as many of the terms used in social work and other areas, it is what it looks like, relationships, right? So what does it have to do with anything? Well, it as humans, it's sort of our basic instincts, right, is to create relationships, right? Sometimes, we go and some people that can, lack relationship, maybe they get a pet. So you see, there's this drive for us as humans to have a relationship, contact, which for now it couldn't be more relevant with the pandemic, but we try to make that relationship in a different way. I mean, Zoom and video conferencing and so many other ways. So I want to concentrate. You can all read the chapter, but I want to concentrate on things that are not necessarily in the chapter, but it brings you closer to the understanding of what relational theory is. And for that, I'm gonna be showing you little snippets of videos on relational theory therapy or relational therapy, which you'll see, but part of the core of the basic of this therapy is to not attaching any negative or destructive aspect to how we are different. What makes us different, race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, cognitive ability, it's not really something that is part of the pathology, right? That is not what, maybe some people may use it, but, the last thing somebody wants to hear in a therapy section is how, you don't want to be treated as the victim or the creator, the person who's creating the circumstances, because, you didn't choose to be X, Y, or Z, right? So, and also, it gives a broader understanding on what is, gender and what is identity, so it's sort of the, I hate to use the word, but, welcoming. And for that reason, I'm gonna show you some role play. By the way, if I show you all of the videos, we will be here all day. So I urge you to watch some of them. If I can't put the URL, all you have to do is go to YouTube and type relational theory role play, and you will find many of these videos. Let me make sure that I'm gonna sort of move it here. Let's do that. And, you know, let's see one thing here. Okay, well, it doesn't show the URL, but, you know, obviously you see the title, and you can get a good idea, you know, what it is. So let me play a little bit. This is for a course. Not sure where it is, and it's not in the information, but it's definitely a social work class. All right.
Hi, how you doing, Miss
Hey,
Vessel?
how you doing?
All right, how you doing today?
Good.
All right, look at you trying to match me and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. No problems getting here today, right?
None whatsoever.
Okay. Well, before we get started, like I was telling you before we started the session, I will be recording the session. Are you okay with that? Okay, y'all just had to go ahead and clear that up before we get started. Now, I would like to just go ahead and talk about what happened before our last session. Our last session, we basically just went over your treatment goals and your plans and planned out what you wanted to see for.
I'm gonna forward it a little bit.
How you can gain. Just tell me a little bit about what happened with that.
I lived with my dad, so he had the car, so I ain't have any way to get here. But I got a new car, so I'll be here all the time.
What's been going on since our last session?
I know last session we just talked about like my goals and how to be more independent and how I'm supposed to be dealing with everybody. It's been alright. I've been getting there, but I've been kind of slipping up. But I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to find that man. So I kind of messed up a couple of times, but not too bad. I'm kind of progressing myself away from people who I don't need in my life. Even though I want them now, I'm trying to learn like not to deal with them. I can't say people who I had sexual activities with. It's been wasting my time. So I can't say that was one outlook of how I need to become more independent. I shouldn't give everybody my time when I work my time.
Okay, so I heard you say that you had been slipping up.
Yes.
What you mean by that?
Sexual activities, doing things I haven't been doing. Yeah.
You've been doing some sexual activities. Okay, so I also heard you say that you've been doing some things that you shouldn't have been doing, and you've been, you know, distancing yourself away from people that you shouldn't have in your life. So is there anyone in particular, you know, that you...
My exes, it's two of them. Like, I fall to the end of the earth, but it's not worth it. Because I don't get that love back, but I do this for them, but they can't do nothing for me. So I'm just trying to kind of make them feel how I feel.
Okay, so that you are having interaction with.
Saying no, like, when they say come see them, like, I'm quick to be like, all right, I'm coming. I just want to say no, like, I'm not coming, and like, mean it. And not being so quick to text back or answer the phone and everything. I'm just trying to say no, and I feel like once I say no, I know.
Adriana, you trying to come over tonight?
Why?
On a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel? Like, how much control do you feel you had? 1 being no control, 5 being moderate, medium control, and 10 being complete control. You had complete control over saying no, meaning it, and that's just that.
4.
A 4?
Yep.
Okay, so to me, a 4 is kind of saying that, you know, you still have progress, but that's okay.
Right.
Because practice makes perfect, right? So, what are some things that you think you can start doing and just practicing in order to be able to say no, mean it, and mean it?
Okay, maybe I stopped that on purpose. Maybe that will entice you to say, "Oh, I want to know what she's saying next." But let's see. I want to show you. This is a page. What I did was, um, just type, like I said, relational theory role play, and oops,
Hi Claudia, my name's Josie. Nice to meet you.
Hi Josie, nice to meet you too.
sorry.
And I'm here to talk to you today about your experience surrounding your baby's adoption. And so just start wherever you like.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll start with the pregnancy. I got pregnant on my 17th birthday, and it was only the second time I'd ever had sex. What happened was he was giving me some attention, and one thing led to another, and I was pregnant. We actually ended up having a relationship for about 4 months after that. But it was purely like a physical thing. It wasn't, I was kind of the other woman in his life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you find out you were pregnant? Like when did you know, and did you feel like you had any options surrounding the pregnancy?
Well, I knew I was pregnant after I missed my first period, but I didn't tell anybody until about working in a nearby city that wasn't our hometown differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really, like I appreciated him there so much, and so did my friends, because a lot of their parents didn't even come once, didn't even call. So
Really?
yeah, I felt really lucky actually.
Yeah. I can see how, like having someone give you that support just even a little bit can make you sort of feel more human when you've been stripped of your identity sort of in these homes. So it sounds like the small amount of time your dad took to spend with you and your friends just had a really big impact on that experience.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah, I think you're getting the picture. This one is obviously, this next one is a little too long. Oops, I was watching it. So I'm just going to show you a little bit.
Hello, my name is Brittany, and I'm one of the social workers here that'll be working with you.
Hi, Brittany. I'm Andrea.
Okay, so just before we get started,
Just to let you know, I noticed that the sound of some of these videos may not come out right when you play this video. So I click on closed caption here so you can, read what they're saying, just in case, you can't hear them very well. Closed caption, I should say. Remember, it's not perfect. So if you're reading certain words and you say, what? It's because, that's what the computer thought the person said. So bear with me about that. But they're pretty much doing, the closed caption in YouTube. It's okay. Actually, let me do that and press play.
I want to let you know that everything that's said during this session is confidential. It remains between you and I unless I feel that you are going to harm yourself or someone else. Does that sound okay?
Sounds perfect.
Okay, so what brings you in here today?
Well, I kind of just moved in with my boyfriend 2 months ago. We've been dating for about 2 years, but we've been having a lot of issues that's been causing me like a lot of anxiety.
Okay, so you mentioned that you guys just moved in. What made you guys decide to move in together?
It was basically just his decision. I don't think that I was ready for it. Maybe that's another reason why I've been feeling a lot of anxiety and stress lately. But I think it was just more of his idea, and he was really pushy towards moving in together, and I just wasn't ready. But now it's kind of too late because now we're stuck in a lease together for at least a year.
And what's like going on in those situations where you're starting to feel like your anxiety is kicking up? Is it like, or do you feel this all the time when you're around him?
I feel it about 60% of the time while I'm around him. I try not to. I try to like ignore it, but then sometimes he just does little things that bothers me. I think it's more of the little things that really get to me, and I don't know why, but it's like even if he comes home and takes out all the trash, washes the dishes, cleans the whole house. Like I just get so angry, and like my anxiety gets really bad. I start shaking, and I don't know, I start fearing things. It's just really wild. I want it to be 50-50. I want it to be equal. But I don't like when he comes home and he does everything. And then it kind of makes it seem like I have nothing to do.
Okay, so
And it feels like really heavy in my chest. But sometimes it's just like
like a
me
panting.
trying- Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable. And so this technique is going like when I want you to do this when you start feeling that anxiety, because also when you focus on the breath and like actually breathing in, you're not focusing on the small little thing.
Well, this one got into some breathing techniques that, are, to calm the person. So that's for another, another day. I hope that, I'm trying to do things a little different. So I hope that you enjoy that. It's just going to make this video presentations longer, but you can always stop the video and go to YouTube and watch this role play videos, and that will make sort of my lecture, unquote, shorter, even though you're actually watching some media somewhere else. But hey, this is your career, so I want to give you the most a lot of tools. Anyway, having said that, let's move to the next theory, which is attachment. Again, it connects to the actual meaning of the word, right? We have this attachment to our mother, father, etc., right? So that's what the theory, involved, this attachment to, I'd say for the most part, I'm sure that we all have attachment to our phones, but it's basically to other human beings. Let's just keep that one, the attention to other human beings as the major focus. All right. Okay, so let's keep. I'm still gonna be experimenting with new ways to make this video lectures, different, maybe more, likely that you will watch them, that you like them, better. But better means that, ultimately better means that I fulfill my goal, that is to make this information be easy to retain and to understand. So I'll still follow the same idea as before. This is a video on talking about these 4 infant attachment styles. So just gonna move it here. This one pretty much let me do this, make sure this one I probably just play the whole thing.
Hey Psychogoers, do you ever catch yourself doing something like having a mini panic attack when you're asked to speak in front of others? Or maybe needing to be the center of attention all the time and wonder, why do I do that? Part of the answer lies in how you bonded with your parents during your childhood. The way you were raised, where you were raised, and your relationship with your family shapes a large part of who you'll become as an adult. If you've been watching Psych2Go for a while, you know that your childhood affects you in some weird and unexpected ways. We put some links to those videos in the description box below. One of the ways your childhood molds you into the person you are is the development of your attachment style. This video talks about the 4 attachment styles, as well as how you can spot them at work or school, in relationships, and in a crisis. You might be wondering, what is an attachment style, and why should I care? Thanks to the research of Harry Harlow and John Bowlby, the mental health community uses the phrase attachment style to describe the ways we interact with and attach to others throughout our lives. As you might have guessed, you start developing your attachment style as an infant. It's first formed by the way you bond with your caregivers, then continues to be shaped throughout your childhood. Understanding your attachment style is a big deal because it can tell you a lot about how you relate to your friends and family, how you work with groups of people, and how you handle problems or obstacles in your life. Of course, there are other things such as your temperament, culture, and self-talk that influence the way you deal with people. But for now, let's learn more about attachment style. In 1970, psychologist Mary Ainsworth wanted to know more about how children with different temperaments attach to their parents and what this says about how they relate to the rest of the world. Would they get separation anxiety when they were away from their mother, or would they settle into their environment just fine? The research has shown us people form attachments in one of 4 ways. 1. Secure, type B. People with this attachment style are confident their needs will be met. They're the most likely to assert themselves and ask for help. 2. Insecure avoidant, type A. People with this attachment style tend to appear more withdrawn and independent. They don't usually believe others will meet their needs and rarely ask for help. 3. Insecure ambivalent, resistant, type C. People with this attachment style can be difficult to read because they alternate between being super clingy and rejecting others. They're often insecure and seem to have trouble exploring new situations. 4. Disorganized. People with this attachment style view all interactions with others as if they're a chance to solve old traumatic situations from their past. They tend to suffer from depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Those with a disorganized attachment style are more likely than the other 3 styles to use negative things like drugs, alcohol, or starting drama to disconnect from painful feelings. If everyone has an attachment style, then you can probably name at least one person in your life with each style. Let's take a look at how the 4 styles relate to others at work, school, in relationships, and in a crisis. If these examples remind you of anyone, tell us about it in the comments. 1. Secure attachment style, type B. At work or school, people with a secure attachment style are typically focused and good communicators. They're the least likely to get involved in gossip or drama, but the most likely to ask questions at meetings or sit in the front of the class. In relationships, people with a secure attachment style are the most likely to make the first move and the least likely to play head games. They tend to have healthy boundaries and are usually respectful of others' boundaries. In a crisis, although those with a secure attachment style don't enjoy drama or crisis, they're able to manage their emotions and see the big picture when problems happen. They keep their cool enough to tolerate differences of opinion and help smooth over hurt feelings. 2. Insecure avoidant, type A. At work or school, the person with an insecure avoidant attachment style probably has difficulty making friends and is probably seen as a loner at school or work. They tend to be more focused on the work itself rather than the social part of group projects. In relationships, your friend or significant other with an insecure avoidant attachment style may have problems talking about or even identifying how they're feeling. They tend to be happier talking about more intellectual topics. The person with an insecure avoidant attachment style is also more likely to be that friend who tells you nothing's wrong, then explodes with anger. In a crisis, the person with an insecure avoidant attachment style goes out of their way to avoid super emotional situations, which actually makes them great in a crisis. They're able to use their more objective nature to take charge and do what's needed in order to solve a problem. 3. Insecure ambivalent, resistant, type C. At work or school, these are the classmates and coworkers who always seem preoccupied or anxious. People with a type C attachment style tend to be more sensitive about their work and need more reassurance than other attachment styles. In relationships, those with a type C attachment style are often labeled as way too sensitive because they react strongly to anything that seems like they're being rejected by you. This may cause a person with a type C attachment style to be clingy or attempt to reject you before you reject them. They also tend to blame others for their relationship issues. In a crisis, people with the type C attachment style seem to feed on drama and will often stir the pot during a crisis. Because of their anxiety and habit of personalizing others' behavior, those with an insecure, ambivalent, resistant attachment style need a lot of reassurance and advice when they're having issues. And 4, disorganized. At work or school, whether they do it by pulling fire alarms, getting a coworker fired, or proudly breaking the rules, people with a disorganized attachment style love to test boundaries. Classmates and coworkers might see the person with a disorganized attachment style as charismatic, but they're the most likely to engage in mean girl type behaviors. In relationships, it can be downright challenging to have a close one with someone who has a disorganized attachment style, because they can be aggressive, abusive, and manipulative. Loved ones of people with a disorganized attachment style often feel like they're replacing those that have hurt this person in the past in this person's current drama. In a crisis, because they often feel as though they're reliving past negativity or abuse, people with a disorganized attachment style often feel triggered by crisis. These feelings of being triggered can lead to explosive anger, substance abuse, and the need to punish others. Did you see yourself or anyone you know in any of those examples? More importantly, how did you feel about what you heard?
Yes, as you can see, this video lecture, it's already past the 20 minutes, and I'm only at the beginning of the chapter, but I think if I, really focus on certain areas, this will make your understanding, better. I'm going to stop this one and call it part 1. I will be creating a part 2. All right. You'll hear me soon. Bye.